Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, The Reunion, Part 3. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted shows, reality shows, and also do reactions. If you're returning, one of my peoples, welcome back. We have a few comments from the last video, and they are all from QueenJ.Lotus _ King Sunkiss. Hey boo. The first one is, hey girl again. Hey. The second one is, Meredith only got shine after the boat trip. And I also think they were trying to help Meredith with camera time also because she hadn't been given anything, which is true. But she clearly was doing bunch of stuff off camera and then getting on camera being weird again. Think about how that would actually feel having to work with Lisa and Meredith and being around them immediately, constantly. I wouldn't like that. I don't like to switch up on people. I want you to be the same every time I see you. I don't want you to be different when you with other people. Just be the same all the time. So I understand what you're saying. Heather is distracting from something in her own life. Agree with that again. But also, it was being fair for real. Heather has bared her soul for seasons. Mary as well, and Brown and Whitney been given. Even Lisa. Meredith has truly had a storyline for seasons. And the women start feel like how we feel on our jobs when somebody ain't pulling their weight and got to do their job too. Yeah, like if I got to show up and show my life, you should do the same thing. And that's exactly how I feel about on Potomac when it comes to Giselle and Ashley. Everybody else shows up and bears their life out, and we rarely know anything about Giselle. Or well, we know, but she don't really be showing anything. She focused on everybody else. Secondly, where we at? Okay. Heather was defending Lisa at the very beginning of the season. After the first meeting with Lisa, Lisa made that comment, I live a very different life than all of you, on the snooty mess. She did. And Heather tried to friendly correct her, and Lisa dug the knife in. After that, Heather started shadingly trying to show Lisa how it feels and tried her own ways of holding Lisa accountable for being a snooty and putting down the other women. After their argument in the store is when Heather got more reckless with Lisa. I agree with that as well. The issue is Heather is very passive, and all of them got that Mormon snooty air about themselves at certain points. Heather also having blonde hair on top of that, I think makes people receive her clapbacks and call-outs as something more than what it is. Like I've said, Heather is not innocent, but it's certain times where it's more like she's making up for protecting and fawning the bullies in the past. And people take it like she's just trying to be a bully, but conveniently look over Lisa and Meredith bully behavior. I guess because people are just used to them being buttholes and used to Heather just eating it up and begging for friendship. I agree again. Third comment, or this is the fourth comment. Heather used to deflect from answering the question. Meredith used that deflect from answering the questions that was going to dissolve her mask. Therefore, I don't believe Meredith. And if you really could hear what she said, which I know was hard to do with them yelling over each other, but Meredith is mad that Brittany left a review about nails. For someone who so happened to have been accused of anti-Semitism, and she's making it like Brittany should have known, so therefore she is guilty. That's BS. I agree. Meredith and Lisa are sociopaths. Okay, this is the last comment. I don't believe any mess Meredith says at this point. In the way Lisa and Meredith have carried on, I can't blame the other ladies. Because even peep how Meredith deflected and dog whistle with a Jewish mess. Yeah, I didn't like that neither. Instead of simply answering if she had a drink or not. I don't believe this is a case where Lisa and Meredith are being targeted just because. This is more of a case where Lisa and Meredith have pissed multiple people off and hurt people at once, and so happens to have all them responding at once. I do think Heather has been on Dirty Mess with Lisa and Meredith, and that's how she knows so much. But if we stay focused on the specifics of how Lisa and Meredith take Mess too far in conflict, the other ladies are not wrong. Heather protecting Jen by punching her is not the same as Meredith lying and bullying. Heather protecting her bully is foolish and laced in Stockholm Syndrome, and it would actually make sense that in this case she is adamant about not protecting another bully and feeling guilty about certain ways she has in the past. Amongst making up for bringing Brittany in this group and letting people pile on her that way. Now, you had a lot to say, and I appreciate it because I love the comments, and I was like, you know what, Queen Lotus, you right. I completely agree with you on this one. I totally do. I don't like the way we talk about this. Instead of focusing on this, we're gonna go over here and talk about that. No, let's stick to the subject at hand when it comes to Meredith. And Meredith, being a lawyer, she knows how to use her words. So she's telling the truth, but it's not that truth, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't yelling at her. I did not yell at her. I don't know what y'all talking about. That is true. But what she was doing was yelling loudly at Lisa about her. So, yeah. I get what you're saying, Queen Lotus. And thank you for the comment, boo. We're starting off with Brittany storming off because she's hurt and she's insulted about what Meredith is trying to put on her, and she's letting us know that she is not a victim. Now, in this case, I'm going to side with Brittany for just a little bit because this is not Brittany's fault, and I don't like how Meredith is trying to put all this on Brittany. Now, I didn't go into it last episode, last part of the reunion about this nail tech. Meredith was going to a nail tech, and this nail tech contacted Brittany like, hey, I do Meredith's nails. I would like to do your nails. Will you give me some promotion? And Brittany was like, yeah. She got her nails done, and she wrote a review. Well, we find out later that this nail tech was saying some hateful things about the Jewish community. I could not say the word anti-Semitism. I don't know if that's correctly, so I'm going to say he was saying some hateful things towards the Jewish community. It's alleged that he was saying some hateful things. I don't want him coming from me. And Meredith found out, and she was hurt. And she's trying to put all this on Brittany, like Brittany just went to this man, even though he was saying all these things. But that's not how it was. Once Brittany found out, she was like, hey, dude, you want some messed up stuff? This is what I'm not about. So I'm going to delete my comments and delete my posts about you and don't contact me no more. Now, it's not like I'm going to defend Brittany on this one because I don't like how Meredith is trying to put all of this on Brittany. You were going to this nail tech as well, and you didn't know that he had some hateful things to say about the Jewish community. So how are you going to put this on Brittany? Now, again, Brittany, she does like to play victim, and she has done this multiple times. Brittany likes to start things, and then when somebody responds to what she has started, then when you get at her, now, like, why are you yelling at me? Why are you doing all these things? It's because you're constantly coming with somebody. Let's go back to last year. Now, I'm defending Meredith, but I'm not really defending Meredith. Like, last year, when Brittany was up there, I heard Meredith, she was in her room, she was crying, and she was throwing up, and she was doing all these other things. Why did you have to bring that up? She has been coming from Meredith. I'm not going to say that, but I'm not going to say she's coming from Meredith because Meredith is Jewish, like Meredith is trying to portray. That's one thing I do not like. And then we get to, as Brittany, she done storm off, and she's crying. We're trying to get to the bottom of things, like, all these ladies are saying that you were not acting like yourself. You were not being yourself. And as Mary is trying to have a conversation with Meredith about where she's been going and how she's been acting, here come Brittany coming out. These two are having a conversation, and Brittany has to stop what they're doing so she can let her presence be known and let her know that, hey, we are done. We are over. We are no longer friends. I'm like, Brittany, this is not the time and this is not the place. These two are trying to have a conversation, and here you are stopping and trying to make it about yourself. Andy asked Meredith, about the plane ride. She admits that she had a drink in the lounge before they got on the plane. And she is sticking to her story that she was sleeping. She watched a little bit of Crazy Rich Asians, and Mary is like, "Girl, you did not." And this is when the ladies are trying to get Meredith to confess, and I could understand how it will be so frustrating when you're trying to tell me what I witnessed is not true. You were gaslighting me. You were supposed to be my friend, and you're going to sit here and gaslight me. And this is when I guess Lisa decides she's going to jump in and be like, well, when we were on the boat, I was so hurt that you were saying that I was putting this information out. Now, this is so that everybody can get off of Meredith's back right now, and I can make myself the victim. And Mary, she's like, girl, you're not fit to sit here and cry about something that happened in the past. This is what you're not going to do. And it's like, Meredith and Lisa have this way of doing it. It's like, they're going to tag team. Once one of them is getting pulled down, the other one's going to jump in. And it's mainly Lisa. When Meredith was sitting there taking, and these ladies are asking her questions, trying to get her to be like, girl, just admit that you was fussing and you was cussing. Because I think if she had to just admitted that, things would have been blown over and they would not continuously talking about it. But it's the fact that she is not owning up to it is what's making it frustrating. And I could see just being frustrated about it. But Lisa, you jumping in and trying to make this about you and trying to make yourself the victim, like you was so hurt while y'all was on that yacht that if you could have, you would have jumped out into the water and you would have swam home. Just because they said that you was out here spreading out people's business or digging up stuff when, like, you yourself had said that people come to you with information and this is why people think that it is you, but now you sitting here crying about it? Really? It's like, I would have been so frustrated. Like, that's one thing that you're not gonna just sit here and tell me that the shirt I got on right now don't got leaves on it when I can clearly see that it has leaves on it. That's what you're not gonna do. And the fact that I'm like, kudos to you, Meredith, because you gonna stick to this story. Like, if you don't have me on film saying it, then it ain't me. And if you do have me on film saying it was AI. She is sticking to it that I didn't do it. I don't know what you want me to say. It was not me. We discussed Whitney and Justin and how they're doing in their relationship. Y'all know they was having some issues at the beginning of the season where Whitney was trying to get her business back. She could have had an opportunity with working with Sephora, I believe it was, and Justin wanted to, go with the MLM route, which I believe that's where he has a background in, which I think MLMs, even though I don't know much about it, I think that's a little tricky area to get into. And this has affected their relationship because they did this route and now she has to buy her company back. And that's costing them a lot of money. And, she was upset that Justin was like, we owe these people money and we need to pay these people. And Whitney was looking like, why are you paying these people? And he's like, so we don't owe these people so they can't come and sue us. But she says, they've had some issues, but, they've had worse issues in the past, and they're working through it. Brittany, basically, she is the same way that she's always been, putting a man above her daughter. She don't understand why her daughter was upset that she brought Jared to BravoCon. It's because that should have been time for you two together. And you brought Jared along, so therefore your focus was going to be on with Jared. And she doesn't understand these things, but she says that she had her two girls home for Christmas the first time in 6 years. And, they bring her the best joy in life. And I was like, the way you be acting and the way you portray things, I don't believe it. But hey, that's your world, not mine. Lisa, how are things going with John? Because we seen that scene with John, and John seemed frustrated. And I can understand him being frustrated because Lisa, not only does she not like to take accountability for things, but she is not a good listener. And it's not just with John, it's with these other ladies. cause when they're trying to talk to her and tell her something, she's like, nope, that ain't it. And Mary's like, if your husband's telling you that you're not a good listener, maybe you should listen to him. And she's like, no, that's not it. And Mary's like, this is why I don't try to help you, because you do not listen. I'm trying to tell you, your husband wants you to listen to him, and you're not. How many times have we seen doggone it Lisa with doggone it John, and she on the phone like, yes, what, huh? And he's trying to talk, and she is not listening. How many times have we gone through that? And now she's upset, and the ladies was like, we all like John, and I know it's hard on you, girl. I'm sorry, somebody keep on trying to call me, but like, this man is trying to tell you he wants you to listen to him, and you just refuse to do it. Bronwyn had a lot of stuff coming at her back to back, dealing with bringing her parents into her home because her father had Alzheimer's. Then on top of that, her mother and her brain tumor. And so it was like, even Todd, he was there to help, and financially. And it seems like a little bit of being there as a shoulder to lean on. But at one point, things just got too much. She could not take care of both her mom being home, recovering from a brain tumor, and dealing with and taking care of her father who had Alzheimer's. So they eventually had to put him into memory care. And unfortunately, he passed away right after they got back from Greece. And then on top of that, she's dealing with how Muzzy was portrayed on the show, and Muzzy not being happy with the way she's portrayed on the show, but I'm not gonna lie, them first 3 episodes, Muzzy did not come off as a nice person at all. She came off as like, girl, you should have never brought your mama on this show, because these people are gonna drag your mama. And dealing with Muzzy not saying it, but like, hey y'all, I'm letting y'all know, I do not agree that my daughter went out here and got pregnant at 19 and she was not married. Like, she is still really stronghold in the Mormon community, and she wanted to let it be known, like, I am still this woman that I grew up to be. I'm sorry that my daughter strayed away, but I am still that strong Mormon. And now, on top of that, she's dealing with she and Todd being separated, because things got to be a lot. It's seeming like he don't want her on the show. 1, 2, they can't discuss their relationship. 3, she can't discuss the what's going on in her relationship with her friends. It's like, if we can't talk about it, how are we going to move forward? And it's like, he don't want her on the show because that's going to spotlight the cracks in their relationships. And I'm like, yeah, that is true, but like, it's seeming like some of us who've been watching the show called it last season that Bronwyn is setting up for her, divorce from Todd. She's tired, and getting on this show will get her some recognition, get her a check, so she's not dependent on Todd. And it's like she was dealing with a lot. It's like, I can't talk to my husband about what's going on with us. I can't talk to my friends about what's going on with me and my husband. I'm like, who can I talk to? If we can't talk to each other and move forward, then what are we even doing here? And it's like, that has to be a lot thrown at one person in a span of like less than a year. I'm not really sure how long her parents were living with her, but dealing with someone who has memory issues is a lot. I at one point was taking care of somebody who had dementia, and I'm not even sure if she knew who I was, but I was there to take care of her. I was dealing with another client, because I used to do home health care, and dealing with them and them not remembering and them lashing out because they don't remember. It is a lot on the caretaker as well. So I couldn't understand it being stressful for Brahman, and like, even though she and Todd, they have the money to, do these things to take care of her parents, it's still a lot to deal with. Meredith gets called out for having off-screen, off-camera conversations with the ladies. She's done this throughout the season. Like, hey, let me talk to you over here where we're not mic'd and there's no camera in sight. so I can, tell you some things. I can ask you some things. Therefore, when we are on camera and you bring it up, I can just deny it because it wasn't on camera. And that seems like that is a Meredith Marks MO. Y'all, this was a bad season for Meredith. It truly was. It was a bad season. It was a bad reunion for Meredith because they was coming at her every which way but loose. And like I said before, she could have totally shifted this if she'd had been like, yes, even though I was not drunk on the plane, yeah, I did. I cussed that girl out. I did it. I feel bad that I did it. And I apologize for doing it, but I was in my feelings at the time. And the ladies could have let it go. But it's the fact that she kept on denying it to their face. And that's why they kept on bringing up the issue. Was like, girl, this is what we not going to do. Things could have changed out for Meredith, but she just didn't take that path. That was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on so when my beautiful face puts up a video, you can click on it, you can like it, and you can share it with your people. And you can come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.